Good morning, everybody. Hello. So, we got to talk because, of course, it is now January. It is the for real winter time. And I don't like it. The only reason why, two reasons why I really can enjoy December, November is because it's a holiday. I told you I love the holiday. And it's not as cold because I live in the South. So I wanted to talk about today how we manage this time since the holiday is over. We don't have a lot of vacation time, maybe. Why we don't like it and what we can do to help ourselves. And I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks that I use to help myself during this time. So, all the holidays are over. One problem for me. Also, I do not like the fact that if it's going to get cold, typically it gets cold around this time, and I despise the cold weather. That's why I live in Georgia. Also, the other thing that happens that I despise is the time changes. I do not enjoy getting up and it looks like midnight and I'm getting up to start work. And I also do not like that when I'm done working, it's pretty much dark. I don't like that. So I don't like that. I don't like that it's getting cold. I don't like that the holiday season is over. I just don't like those things. And I don't like how it looks outside. It usually, sometimes it can look like really drab because there's not a lot of sun. But I also don't like the fact that all the trees don't have their leaves and it's not green and all the grass is not green and pretty and all that. So, a lot of reasons why I don't like this time. And so I have to make sure I'm very intentional about how I manage myself during this time. And I know a lot of people, talk about having the winter blues, being depressed during this time, having seasonal depression. If that's you or if it's not, we can still benefit from caring for ourselves during this time. So, like I said, those are the reasons why I don't like the holiday season. And I used to say, I mean, not the holiday season, oh my goodness, why I don't like this January, February time. Those are all the reasons why I don't like it. And I used to say I would love to hibernate during this time, but then I would miss the holiday season. So, let me tell you what I usually do to help myself. So, because it is dreary, drab outside, I turn on lights in my house, bright lights. If there is a little bit of sun outside, I make sure the curtains and the blinds are open so I can get some sun. Also, if it's a little warmer, I will go outside so I can feel the sun on my skin because I love to feel the sun on my skin. Also, the sun is good for us. So I will go outside to get some sun. Also, just change up my environment. So I'll go outside for a little bit. Now, I do like taking long walks in my neighborhood. I don't like doing that when it's cold. So I'm not out there walking in my neighborhood. But I will go out and get some sun. And even when I'm out driving around, if it's sunny, I will, open my sunroof. Not to let the air in, but to let the sun in. So I do make sure that I'm turning lights on, open curtains, opening blinds to let sun come in the house. The other thing I do, because I would like to hibernate, is I make sure I maintain my sleep routine. Me sleeping 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18 hours is not good for me. And I would argue that that is not good for anyone else. But what happens for me is when I sleep beyond my regular sleep routine, I get really lazy feeling. I don't have a lot of motivation, and then I don't do the things that I need to do for myself or just need to do in general. And then that starts the cycle of, oh, I'm not being productive, those types of things. So I make sure that I keep my sleep routine the way it always is so I don't have to fight that feeling of being, getting out of laziness and, you know, not having energy or desire to do things. So I try not to give myself a chance to get in that. So I keep my sleep routine, still getting up, still going to bed around the same times, even though it's dark way before it's time for me to go to bed. So I get out and get sun. I keep my sleep routine. I open my windows, curtains. Not open my windows. I open my blinds. I open my curtains. I also make sure I'm getting physical activity. Now, I told you I'm not out there taking no long walks, but I do exercise in my house because I know that exercise, there's science, there's research to talk about the benefits of physical activity. And I know it helps my mood, it helps my energy levels and things like that. So I do also make sure that I exercise during this time because it helps me feel good. It gives me energy. It helps me stay motivated to do other things that I like to do and need to do. So open the blinds, open the curtains, get outside in the sun, let the sun hit my skin. I also get out the house. Now, I don't like to go outside a whole bunch when it's cold, and I really don't like to go outside when it's raining. And I also know that if I stay in the house for too long, I start getting sleepy, I start sleeping, and then the cycle just begins. So I make sure that I get outside during this time. I schedule things with family, friends, schedule things just for myself to get out to enjoy. And so I do really use that positive anticipation where I can put something on my schedule and I have something to look forward to. So I'm engaging in things that I enjoy to help with my mood. We also know that that helps. Whether it's the winter blues or depression, engaging in activities that you enjoy are helpful. And it also prevents from isolating. And I know some people say like, hey, I got people in my house, I'm not isolating. Well, I want you to be very intentional because I'm very intentional making sure I get out of my house to spend time with, people I enjoy and just get out of the house to make sure I'm not going into hibernation mode. So not isolating, getting out the house, enjoying, pleasurable things outside of the house, opening my curtains, my blinds, getting my exercise, getting some sun. And I know, y'all, my mother is terrible with this, but I remember growing up, we always had stew and soup and, chili and none of the things I like during the winter. But the winter, there's comfort food, and also coming out the holiday season, oftentimes a lot of us are indulgent with all the treats and things, and I admit I was. So I also make sure when January comes around and the holiday season is over that I get my nutrition back in order, because for me, comfort food makes me feel lazy. Comfort food doesn't help me sleep well at night. All those things come against my exercise routine. All of those things come against keeping, a good sleep schedule. So I make sure that I get my nutrition and hydration, water, in order because that also helps me feel good. So y'all got some homework. Yes, I'm the homework queen. So this is what I want you to do. And it's so important for us to do homework because it's one thing to hear things that are helpful, but then to actually spend time working on it helps it become a practice. And that's what we're trying to do. We're not just trying to hear helpful things. We're trying to make things a practice, a habit. So the first part of your homework is to write down. Yes, write down pen and paper or on your phone app or something, but actually make a list. Y'all know I'm a list woman. Thank you, Mom, again. A list of the things that you can do that are helpful for you. Not what other people do, not necessarily what I said, but things that are helpful and healthy for you during this time. So remember, mine is physical activity, sun, light in the house, engaging with people, watching my nutrition and my hydration. So make a list of all the things that help you. And if by any chance you struggle with figuring out what are the things you do that are helpful, make a list of things that are not helpful and then look at some opposites, okay? So if you're struggling to figure out what is helpful for you, Write down the things that you know are not helpful and see if you can then flip it, look at some opposites. And it might be trial and error, and that's okay. I just want you to get in the practice of trying things that are helpful for you. And then part two of the homework is the reason why you're doing these things. And so that might sound very simplistic. But when we're in our head, when we're having a mood, when all we want to do is hibernate, sometimes it can be really hard to think rationally, to think about the reasons why, logically, why we do things. So, part two of the homework, write a list, yes, another list about why these things are helpful for you to do. So, I explained to you already, like, the reason my sleep routine is helpful for me is because if I sleep too much, I start to feel lazy. I don't have a lot of motivation, and then I don't get things done that I need to get done. I exercise because it improves my mood. It makes me feel good. It gives me just a positive feel. So you get what I'm saying about writing the list down. We need those things written down because when you are in the mode, Darsha, I'm just going to hibernate. I can look at that list and remind myself of why these things are important and why I need to do them. So y'all got it? I'm trying to help y'all through this January, February, and for my people up north, March, April, it just be snowing and cold forever up north. So I'm trying to help y'all. I'm not just trying to give y'all information. I'm trying to give you guys practical tools and strategies to use to help yourself. Doesn't matter if it's depression. Doesn't matter if it's seasonal. It doesn't matter if it's the winter blues. We can still do things to help ourselves. It may not make everything go away, but if it can make it a little lighter, it's worth it. So, do your homework. Think about it. You might have to start it and then come back to it. That's okay. Just put in the effort to do your homework and start to practice those things and pay attention to how you feel. You may not feel like sunshine and rainbows, like it's July, August, but I guarantee, this is a guarantee, if you do some of these things, you can feel this much better. And who doesn't want to feel this much better? Okay? So y'all take care, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye.